Hello and welcome to Recommends webinar, Canada's Alberta, Insider Tips for Creating Unforgettable Itineraries. I'm Lisa Simonson, Associate Editor, and I'll be your moderator today. Our sincerest thanks to Canada's Alberta for putting this presentation together for all of us and for Ashley Loicono, our presenter. For the next hour, you're going to be immersed in the wonders of Alberta, its Indigenous population, cultural discoveries, culinary experiences, breathtaking landscapes. It's just a beautiful place, from the majestic Rockies to the prairies and the vibrant cities. So we just know you're going to love it. Just a few things before we begin. This webinar is being recorded and it will be sent to you in an email afterwards. So don't worry if you miss something. We will be saving questions until the end, but in the meantime, please jump on the chat. Let us know where you're viewing us from and anything you might want to say. We are interested in what you have to say. Also, we'll be giving away a $200 gift card at the end, so please stay on until the end when we will announce the winner. Oh, we have somebody from Louisiana, Newfoundland. Great. So our presenter for today is Ashley Loicono, Associate Vice President at Finn Partners and the U.S. Representative for Canada's Alberta. Ashley has played a pivotal role in showcasing the wonders of Alberta to American travelers and helping to connect them with this captivating part of Canada. And Ashley is an adventurer herself, and she loves uncovering hidden gems in the destinations she visits. So she is the perfect host to guide you through Canada's Alberta. So without further ado, welcome, Ashley.
Thank you. I'm going to share my screen for the webinar presentation. I'm so excited to showcase Alberta, Canada to everyone and walk through some unforgettable itinerary options. Just give me one moment. Wonderful. Great. So we're going to dive into Canada's Alberta. To start, Alberta has a rich and diverse history with the First Nations people, and we like to acknowledge that the Indigenous cultures were here first, and we'll talk through and talk about how to honor them and learn about their history later in the presentation and how this weaves into the tourism story. So to get started, Alberta is due north of Montana and next to British Columbia. It is a year-round destination for outdoor enthusiasts. Don't know why that happened. Outdoor enthusiasts who can find activities ranging from gentle excursions to more heart-pounding adventures. Alberta is also the sunniest province in Canada with over 320 days annually of bluebird skies. So travelers can really enjoy outdoor adventures year-round. Alberta is serviced by 2 international airports, one in Calgary and one in Edmonton, and has great air access from all major carriers out of the US and internationally. Alberta also has the lowest sales tax in Canada and is the best place for shopping. So if you have guests who are doing both in Alberta and the British Columbia itinerary, be sure to have them save their shopping for Alberta and they can save on tax. Alberta is also known as one of the most friendly provinces, which is why we are encouraging everyone who visits to become an Albertan for a minute, a day, or a lifetime. So today I want to focus on the why. When there are so many destinations out there for your clients to experience, why should they choose Alberta? So to start off, here are a few of the reasons. So year-round adventure, although summer is the peak season in Alberta, the shoulder and winter seasons really do offer fantastic opportunities for travel. As I mentioned, there's over 320 days of sunshine annually, surpassing any other province in Canada. So your guests can really enjoy unforgettable experiences and bathe in the sunshine. Alberta also boasts an outstanding diversity spanning from north to south and east to west. Encompassing varying landscapes, experiences, and Indigenous cultures. It has 6 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, globally recognized attractions, award-winning culinary delights, breweries, distilleries, and mesmerizing star-filled skies. Alberta definitely promises to astonish your clients. The array of diverse experiences allow for either a jam-packed itinerary or a more organic, spontaneous journey. There's always something to do and see while in Alberta. And we'll touch on this later in the presentation, but we have 3 preferred Fairmont properties as well for those looking to stay at those properties. So to answer the why Alberta question, first we'll focus on the culinary. Bolstered by top chefs, local food, and an explosion of award-winning restaurants, the province of Alberta has truly become a foodie destination. With globally renowned award-winning beers and spirits, your guests are guaranteed to indulge in exceptional food and delightfully unique spirits, regardless of where they venture in the province. What sets Alberta apart is our ability to grow our own hops and barley, coupled with access to crisp, clean glacier water, truly distinguishing our beers and spirits from the rest. Secondly, Alberta is rich in indigenous culture, and I firmly believe a trip to Alberta is not complete without some exposure to our First Nations ancestors. Throughout Alberta, guests have access to numerous indigenous experiences, and this is a major focus for Alberta as we invested in the Indigenous Tourism Alberta to support our First Nations people, create and develop experiences that connect guests to the land and our past. So just want to showcase a few of my favorites. In Banff, for example, Mohican Trails provides an eye-opening Indigenous experience where guests take a walk in a mountain meadow or through the forest with guide Brenda Holder or her son. During this experience, guests can connect with the land and educate themselves on plants, trees, flowers, and brush that can be used to make something crucial for survival skills. So some examples are cider for a cold, a food source, or a fire starter. So this medicine walk is definitely a really insightful experience for guests. Also in Jasper, warrior woman's Matricia Bauer performs drumming, fireside chats, foraging, and performs haunting melodies and shares stories of the Cree people. And this is definitely a top experience when one is in Jasper to really connect with the Indigenous culture. Now we'll walk through what an example itinerary looks like in Alberta, hitting on iconic moments and sites. So for this itinerary in particular, we have the guests flying into Calgary Airport, which again serves as a really easily accessible hub with a wide range of connecting flights available from various destinations across the US. So we recommend checking into the Fairmont Palliser in Calgary, which is really well regarded and a welcoming home base for the trip. And then during the afternoon, hit up Studio Bell, which is home of the National Music Center, where guests can engage in 5 floors of exhibitions, honor music legends, and engage with interactive instrument installations. Plus, you can join in on the fun as well by singing in the vocal booths. And then we recommend grabbing a dinner at River Cafe. This is located on the scenic shores of the Bow River in Prince Islands Park. River Cafe offers a relaxed yet refined dining experience where guests can savor a diverse menu featuring regional and seasonal specialties paired with selections of the restaurant's extensive wine cellar. And then for a nightcap, we suggest visiting Major Tom. This Major Tom has been named the best restaurant bar in all of Canada in 2023 and should definitely be top of your list to put an exclamation mark on your night out in Calgary. The Madman-esque hotspot sprawls across the 40th floor, serving up glittering views of downtown alongside their cocktails and food. Day 2 offers the opportunity to explore the breathtaking landscapes of Canmore and the Kananaskis region, where alpine adventures await. This is just about an hour drive from Calgary, so not that far of a drive for this road trip type itinerary. In this region, you can experience the majestic Rockies from a unique perspective with an exhilarating alpine helicopter ride, which provides awe-inspiring views of the rugged terrain and stunning natural beauty. Other activities in this region include e-bike tours, hiking, a grotto canyon, and more outdoor activities. This area abounds with forests, lakes, rivers, waterfalls, glaciers, and seemingly endless paths and trails on which to explore. So there's really plenty to do here. In this area, we conclude the day with a memorable dining experience at Sauvage, which is nestled away from the bustling center of town. Chef Tracy Little's culinary creations at this restaurant really reflect her passion for the mountains, food, and foraging. Sauvage Kitchen is committed to sustainability and craftsmanship, incorporating these principles into every aspect of their offerings in the culinary realm. So guests can really indulge in a tasting menu, experience guided by a knowledgeable server, or embark on an interactive culinary journey inspired by the adventures of the wild. And also just want to flag for those who want to stay over in this area can stay at Pomeroy Kananaskis Mountain Lodge. Otherwise, Banff is also nearby. Which brings me to day 3, which would be a dedicated day in the renowned beauty of Banff. Visitors can see the Rocky Mountains from a new perspective while touring beautiful Lake Minnewanka or on a panoramic interpretive cruise. So beginning from the western side of the largest lake in Banff, the Lake Minnewanka cruise sails under towering peaks and really gives a beautiful perspective of the national park. You can take in breathtaking mountains on the emerald green water as you keep a watchful eye on forested slopes and rocky shorelines because you're bound to see wildlife as well as waterfalls. Another option in Banff is to indulge in the Eat the Castle tour at the Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel. So you can explore the incredible culinary offerings at the castle during an exclusive 2.5-hour tour that features food and beverage pairings, as well as history, stories, and insights from the property's talented culinary team. Next, we recommend spending a day enjoying Lake Louise. One of our top recommendations is the Lake Louise gondola. Of course, also checking out Lake Louise itself should also be top of list. But checking out the gondola as well, you can ascend to one of Banff National Park's most incredible views, where grizzly bears and other local wildlife are seen almost daily. From the top at almost 7,000 feet, the gondola ride is only the start of the adventure. You can enjoy the viewing platform for a panoramic view that will take your breath away. And afterward, visit the free Wildlife Interpretive Center, where interpretive programs are offered daily, including indoor presentations. While up top, you can also enjoy a meal at Whitehorn Bistro. Beyond one of the best views, they proudly offer a variety of items such as cheese fondue, signature seafood chowder, Rocky Mountain game platter, or their house-made bison burger. In addition, they have an excellent selection of beer, spirits, and wine to complement the dining experience. Please note, though, that this restaurant is only accessible via the gondola ride, which requires a lift ticket. Then we have Jasper as your next stop. So for this, you will take the Icefields Parkway, which ranks as one of the most beautiful drives in the world. And it makes for an ultimate Canadian Rockies road trip. While driving on the beautiful Icefields Parkway, which takes about 3 hours from Lake Louise itself, you can stop along the route, and one of the stops is Columbia Icefield Glacier. So that's what you see here with the skywalk. Directly across from the Athabasca Glacier, the Columbia Icefield Glacier Discovery Center, you can book a tour on the Ice Explorer snow coach that will take you right up to the glacier. Located at the juncture of Banff and Jasper National Parks, the center offers interpretive exhibits as well, a restaurant, a cafeteria, an extensive patio, and a gift shop, as well as scenic walks and self-guided trails. So this is definitely a great stop in between Lake Louise and Jasper to stop and see just the beauty of the Rockies. And then once you arrive in Jasper, we recommend checking out the Jasper Planetarium and really experiencing one of the largest dark sky reserves in Canada. When you enter the Jasper Planetarium's 40-seat domed planetarium theater, you'll really be immersed in just learning about the dark sky preserve. You get a guide, interactive world exclusive guide into the planetarium experience itself, or you can also sign up for a full tour, which starts in the planetarium, then head outside for the chance to tour the largest telescope in the Rockies. To conclude the trip in Jasper, to conclude this itinerary itself, actually, you can head back to Calgary or Edmonton to fly out. Both are around 4 hours drives from Jasper. Again, if you're going back to Calgary, you just head back the same route you're going down Icefields Parkway, or you can go Edmonton, which is more of a prairie drive. Train is another great way to explore Alberta's beauty. Rocky Mountaineer really has amazing itineraries that take you through the Rockies in Alberta. The world-renowned train travels by daylight through the wild beauty of Canada's West and is the best way to experience the Canadian Rockies if your client does not want to drive. With its impeccable onboard service, gourmet cuisine, and luxurious surroundings, it is no wonder the Rocky Mountaineer is considered by many to be one of the world's ultimate travel experiences. And they offer vacation packages and three distinctive rail routes through British Columbia and Alberta. And then getting to accommodations, there are endless accommodations in Alberta that range from cozy cabins, hotels, and suites to the luxurious preferred Fairmont properties. So I'll go through a few options, really focusing on Fairmont. So Fairmont Palliser, so originally one of the iconic Canadian Pacific Railway resort hotels. This property is a historical landmark, offering distinctive accommodations in an elegant surrounding. The property is centrally located in downtown Calgary and is conveniently situated near the city's business and financial districts, and is within walking distance of eclectic retail shopping, dining, arts, culture, and entertainment. Calgary's vibrant energy, coupled with its Western spirit, makes for a metropolis of wonderful contrast. The world-famous Banff Springs property stands as a landmark in this picturesque alpine town and is known as the Castle in the Rockies. The Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel offers all the amenities of a world-class resort with 757 guest rooms and suites, and superbly appointed Banff accommodations and attentive personalized service. So from cozy rooms tucked away in quiet corners of the castle to more spacious suites with sweeping Alberta mountain views, Fairmont Banff Springs has the perfect guest room, suite, or Fairmont Gold accommodations for your guest Rocky Mountain getaway. The property is a year-round luxury mountain resort that offers championship golf courses during the summer, unparalleled skiing in the winter, award-winning European-style Willow Stream Spa, and authentically local dining experiences. And then for the Fairmont Chateau Lake Louise, this property was originally created for discerning guests arriving by rail. So staying at the Chateau Lake Louise is like being in a fairy tale castle at the edge of wilderness. Elegant and lavish with grand spaces, the historical Fairmont Chateau Lake Louise is a triple A 4-diamond year-round luxury alpine resort and also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. From the front door, guests have access to amazing hikes, casual walks along the lake shore, canoeing, or short hikes to tea houses. This is truly the quintessential place to relax, rejuvenate, and explore. And as you can see here, the property is right on Lake Louise, so you have unmatched views. And in the winter, when it freezes over, they have ice bars for you to enjoy, and ice skiing. You can play ice skating, not ice skiing, as well as you can play some hockey and really enjoy the frozen lake. I also wanted to share exciting news. There's a brand new thermal wellness facility currently under construction at the Chateau Lake Louise property. So this is a 31,000 square foot building that, when complete, will blend into the landscape of the existing building. It will feature indoor and outdoor thermal experiences, relaxation areas, fantastic food and beverage, and treatment rooms. The completion of this project is expected in spring 2025, so there's still time, but it's going to be a gorgeous addition to the property. Great, thank you everyone for your time. I hope you have some inspiration for the itineraries, and I'm open to any questions now.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, we do have some questions, Ashley, so that would be great. First of all, a technical question. Somebody wants to know if all of the links that have been being posted by Recommend would possibly be available in an email after the
yeah.
webinar. Okay. That would be great. Thank you. And okay. And somebody also wants to know, will the planetarium be privatized? I guess they mean, will you be able to buy it out or use it? you know,
Oh, for private groups or
Mhm.
events? That's a great question. I don't know 100% for sure, but I can definitely check and get back
Okay,
to
that would
Michael
be
on that.
great. And then somebody wants to know, and you talked about the indigenous activities. Are there any overnights that can be done with the indigenous First Nation people?
Yes, there's a great experience called Métis Crossing, METIS Crossing. It's about an hour, hour and a half outside of Edmonton. And that's an interpretive center with the Métis Nation. And they have a whole lodge on site, as well as sky watching domes, which are amazing for dark sky viewing.
Mhm.
And it's like they have like the cutout, and it's more of a glamping experience, and it's actually open year round, so you can do it in the winter as well. So Métis Crossing is a great overnight experience. There is also some glamping on Elk Island in which is about like 30-40 minutes outside of Edmonton. Again, in a glamping experience, but you can tie that with some indigenous experiences at that park. But those are definitely two suggestions in that area.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you. Um, Somebody wants to know if there is a list of DNCs available that they can.
Yes, I believe on, I will send that too. I believe there is through the website, but I rather just triple check that first.
Okay, that would be great. And you would email that if you have it?
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome.
Or my colleague Ryan would.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you. And there's another question. What is the fee for entry to the Glacier Skywalk?
That is a great question because I believe, so right now it's closed in the winter, but let me just triple check that the price hasn't changed since last season.
Okay, great. Thank you. And there's another question. You were talking about the dining in Calgary. Is it typical Canadian, international? Like what are some of the themes?
Yeah, so at River Cafe, it's definitely a mix. I would say more traditional Canadian, highlighting Alberta's signature foods, but there's definitely elements of international weaved into the menu. I know it changes.
Mhm.
I hope that helps with that question. But in general, in Calgary, there's so many internationally inspired restaurants. They have a great cuisine ranging from, like Ukrainian to Chinese to everything. And it's really top notch. And there's a great international food scene there. But they also have a great as they call Albertan cuisine, which of course has steak, bison, honey, all the signature foods, barley.
All right, great. Personally, I didn't know what Albertan cuisine was. That's good to know. Sounds delicious. And I think this came up before, but do you have any itineraries posted, like the itinerary that you just gave us?
Yes, so on the website, I believe I shared this earlier. I'm not sure if it was shared in the chat, but I can also share it. There's a ton of road trips and itineraries. This one in particular, I can definitely share this one off, but we have like classic road trip in Alberta that does highlight a lot of what I've mentioned.
Mhm.
I'm going to share it in the chat, but if you go through there, you can filter through duration of days, what the interest is of the traveler, and it really does filter curated itineraries that match that theme, whether it's more adventurous, more luxurious, more wellness, more family friendly. It's all different options are in here, including seasons, which I know also is a big contender in what a lot of people want to do.
Okay, great. And this kind of goes along with that. Somebody wants to know if you only have a long weekend or a few days, what are the musts?
So I would say, especially from those that are not as familiar, I would say Calgary, Banff, Lake Louise, because Banff is within an hour of like hour and a half of Calgary. So you can really do that, like fly into Calgary and then like loop around and then fly out of Calgary. I think adding Jasper in, you'd want to do more than a long weekend, like more 5 days, 6 days.
Okay, that sounds good. And somebody saying we didn't discuss Edmonton. but do you know if the Edmonton Conference Center has been renovated in recent years? This person was there 15 years ago.
Great question, Michael. I'm going to get back to you on that one too. I have two pending things for Michael. I'm not sure about the conference center. That's a great question, though.
Okay. And somebody is saying they have primarily their clients are luxury clients. So are these luxury oriented properties that you're talking about?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, that's good to know. Oh, somebody's asking about Major Tom's. Did you say Major Tom's had dinner as well as the cocktails?
They do, yes. A lot of people just stop there for a nightcap, but they do have a dinner scene as well.
Okay, that's good to know. And then you already kind of answered this, but what are the distances from Calgary to some of these other places? Like,
So Calgary to Canmore is about an hour drive. Calgary to Banff is about an hour and a half. Calgary to Jasper, I would say is about 4 hours.
mhm,
Again, I think that one I put an asterisk next to because it depends. A lot of people like stopping along the way on Icefields Parkway. Like
mhm.
it's no one just drives straight through. A lot of people like stopping and looking at the glaciers, taking photos. There's a lot of photographic areas. But I would say about 4.5 hours.
Okay, great. And this question kind of goes along with that. Do you need a rental car? Like, how can you get around?
So we do recommend rental cars. There are services that do provide transfers. Again, with a rental car, you have a little more flexibility, but there are places like when you're in Calgary, you can transfer to Banff, you can transfer to Canmore. There's transfers between Banff and Jasper. It's just, I think, not the same experience. But there are those options and they are easy to book as well.
Okay. And another transportation question, which airport is most accessible?
I would say Calgary has definitely more flight options daily. So I think that one's just more accessible in general. Edmonton does have quite a bit too, but I would say Calgary out of those two.
You said Calgary. Okay. Are there any more questions? Anybody? Um, I don't see any. So maybe we can go ahead and announce the winner unless there's oh, okay. Oh, I see. All right. Yeah, actually there are. I guess the questions people might be wondering about are the seasonal ones. Like, what is there to do in the winter? Do you recommend skiing, ice skating? Is there anything for people who are not necessarily sports minded?
Yeah, so there are some not as, I would say, adrenaline type sports and winter activities. I think in terms of indoors, there's a lot of art galleries, there's theater, there's tours with like distilleries, breweries, different museums. With outdoor, there are some more like there's tours with the glaciers, which again, that's you can be in a car for that, or also there's some ice walks in Jasper, which again is easily guided. There's snowshoeing, which again is more of a, I would say, an easier type of experience. Obviously, there's more intensive snowshoeing. There's some trying to think of other things that there's e-biking, which is easier. I'm not the biggest biker, and I'm honestly, I prefer e-bikes because it does all the work for you. So that's another option. But again, with the planetarium, that's something that's more accessible and not sports focused.
Mhm.
But yeah, there's quite a lot. There's wildlife viewing that you
Mhm.
can do in the wintertime, which a lot of people are fans of. And yeah, there's quite a bit. Depends where you are. And again, the indigenous experiences themselves, that's not does not sports related, but it's all year, and that's an opportunity to really learn more and have more of a cultural experience.
So are the First Nation tribes, are they part of the tourism efforts in Alberta?
Yeah, so Alberta has put about like $6 million into the including indigenous tourism Alberta, which is a whole area that really focuses on having indigenous tours and operators and experiences weaved into the tourism product.
Okay. So what's the weather like spring, summer? I mean, when does it really start warming up and how warm does it get?
I think it changes every year. I know it's hard to say that with everything happening. I would say summer truly starts, or warmest weather truly starts May, June, July, August, and then it turns more fall. But I would say the summer is like summer weather
Mhm.
in,
Heat, hot?
yep.
Oh,
I wouldn't
okay.
say like, not like Florida, but
Right.
it's warm. Like you can wear, a dress, you can wear summer clothing, but it depends again, Alberta is pretty large, so it depends on which region you go to.
Mhm.
But like I was in Calgary back in June and I was able to wear, summer clothing and
So
no
what
issues.
are the warmest and coldest months?
Warmest would probably be July.
Mhm.
Coldest, that's hard to say, probably January, February.
Okay. Um, so again, going back to some of the accessibility in the airports, what are the major airports and where do you need to fly to get to
So
Banff National Park?
So major airports are Calgary and Edmonton. You can access Banff from either, but Calgary's closer. It's an hour and a half from Banff. And
Okay.
that's the airport you would take to get to Banff, Lake Louise area.
Is there shuttle service for
Yep.
hotels or, okay. Oh, that's good to know. And do the crowds get pretty big? Is it usually, manageable if you're visiting and want to
So
avoid that? Or if
Banff
you want.
and Banff and Lake Louise are very popular in the
Mhm.
summer. So we recommend visiting more shoulder season or winter even. But I would say shoulder season, so more spring, fall timeframe. Just in terms of bookings, car rentals, that's usually a more popular option. And if visiting in the summer, obviously it's a good place to stop, but there's other areas in Alberta where you can get, like Canmore, Kananaskis, I mentioned earlier, that's a similar experience. Which we also recommend staying in the summer, because Banff does get very, very popular and it's on everyone's bucket list, it seems. So
Yeah.
summertime is when everyone decides to fly in for Banff particularly.
So, another thing that's really popular, and I'm not sure if you mentioned it or not, are the flight seeing opportunities. Um, what kind of services are available there? If somebody wanted to go by air to see some of these sites.
So there are opportunities with helicopter. I think I mentioned there's an alpine helicopter experience that you can do to see the Rockies out of the Kananaskis region. But there are other air opportunities in the Banff along the Rockies. There's a lot. I know Calgary has a city one. So there's quite a bit of tours by air for both the cities and more the mountain regions.
Mhm. So also, let's say you are into fishing or something like that, or are there any experiential things in Alberta? For example, not to just go fishing, but kind of join maybe a fishing boat or anything like that. Is there anything like
Yeah,
that
fishing.
available?
Yes, fishing's popular. Actually, fly fishing is really popular on the Bow River. So that's an experience a lot of people like adding to their itinerary when they're in Calgary, actually. They have fly fishing tours, and there's fishing opportunities and ice fishing opportunities up and down the destination. So that's definitely tours that can be booked. But fly fishing is definitely something that I know is very popular and a great thing to add to an itinerary if that's of interest to people who want to do more of a immersive fishing experience.
So they could actually join a professional to do
Yes,
something
there's
like that.
tours for fly fishing. There's quite a bit of fishing experiences throughout Alberta.
Okay, that sounds great. So how you were talking about some of the wildlife people are going to see. What's the likelihood of seeing a bear or a moose? Is that even or
I say likely,
yeah?
I can't, no one can ever promise though. That's
Yeah.
it is likely to see, especially in winter, obviously bears are hibernating, but in the warmer seasons, there's opportunities in the parks and along Icefields Parkway. A lot of people spot them. Um, they are quite popular in the Banff Lake Louise region. I know um, there's quite a bit of sightings of that. Elk, there's a lot of elk you'll see. I can guarantee you'll see elk. That's a
Oh,
guarantee.
yeah. Somebody's commenting you'll see tons of elk in
Yep,
Jasper.
you will see elk. That is, you'll definitely see elk. Especially in Jasper at the Fairmont property, you'll find like so many, like hundreds and hundreds on the property that just like that's their home as well.
And not to, get into safety issues necessarily, but should you kind of keep your distance when you
Yep.
see? Okay.
Yeah. With all wildlife. Yep.
Yeah. So along those lines, where's some of the best hiking and, the trails? Is there an extensive trail system?
Yes, there's tons and tons of hiking. All along the Rockies, there's a bunch at all different levels. I mentioned there's hiking, like tea house hiking, where you hike to tea houses. Again, they vary in levels. And just on the wildlife front, I know in the Banff, I believe in Jasper too, but they do recommend having a group to hike with. Don't hike solo, especially during the season when bears are out, just for safety.
Yeah. And along those trails, are there like rest stops or any kind of services at all?
I think again, it depends. There's so
Yeah.
many. But yeah.
And then like how far north does your tourism area go? All the way to the border, the northern border?
Yeah, so we rep the whole province, but again, just in terms of US travelers in particular and highlighting what's accessible and top itineraries, we do highlight more Jasper, Calgary, Edmonton, Banff, Lake Louise, but also Drumheller's an area that's southern Alberta that we highlight, Waterton National Park. Or the International Peace Park, but there's a lot of areas that you can explore. But yeah, for our major itineraries, we do focus more on the areas that I've highlighted in this presentation.
Okay, great. So let me just go ahead and announce our winner of the $200 gift card, Bill Brenneman. Congratulations, Bill. Somebody's going to be in touch with you soon. Again, everybody, this has been recorded and the recording will be sent to you via email when it's ready. And we also want to remind you, we have webinars all the time. So join our next one happening April 4th. It's selling the ever profitable multi-generational and family travel segment. So that's exciting and something more to learn about. Let me just make sure there aren't any more questions popping up. Yeah, all of the links available. Oh, somebody's asking, I'm sorry, this just came up. Are there options for Waterton and Glacier Park?
Yes. If you have a chance to look through the itineraries I sent, that's definitely will highlight it, but that is south of Calgary. So you fly into Calgary. We recommend doing that in order to explore Waterton. And there's a beautiful hotel, the Prince Edward, which is in the park, which has gorgeous sweeping views of like all the Rockies and everything. So definitely a lot to do in Waterton as well. And it's a good tag on to Calgary. And a lot of people do cross the border sometimes into Montana to experience Glacier National Park as well.
Yeah, just a personal note, been to Glacier National Park. And when you're driving all the way up to the top, you might see a goat. And you realize, my God, that goat climbed all the way up from the bottom. So it really is, it's a beautiful experience. And I personally recommend it. And so does Jennifer from Recommend.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Ashley, for joining us and giving us all this great information. And thanks to everybody else for tuning in. And we'll see you hopefully for the next multi-generational webinar. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.